Well, I'm very happy with the paradox you presented. That's our experience in our business. It's also my experience in trying to advise public policy decision makers on what they should do to cope with the severe financial crisis, the poor quality growth in many parts of the world, certainly on the Prime Minister's Business Advisory Group in the UK. I have a kind of permanent debate with George Osborne, the Chancellor, about how it is possible to stimulate the economy, manage the deficit, and still pay attention to the vital environmental issues of the times. And so I'm happy with the way you set things up. Perhaps it's obvious that if you're an entrepreneur, you tend towards the optimistic side of the ledger. So I'll give you some examples of where I think it's possible to deny the essential trade-off between economic growth and development and the management of these vital environmental assets. The first is from direct experience in property, in the investments that we have made in green buildings. The sample is small for us. It's a relatively modest fund, but the evidence is really strong and is becoming genuinely robust across many jurisdictions, and not always contingent upon or dependent upon public policy initiatives, such as a requirement associated with the building or the operation of a building, but partly to do with sentiment and a changed dynamic in the property world. So we've found that a green building strategy works at a pure financial level, where you can measure performance in energy saved, carbon reduced, water better managed, and all of that happens with mainstream asset class pretty much kept as is, no great revolutionary shift. And I regard that as solid evidence of clean energy investment working, but through a well-established asset class. And that's before you get to any great innovations around the use of the building as a generator of power. Just through simple decisions on energy management, lighting, and the attitude of ownership you bring to the building. The second area where I think we've got good evidence now that there is a substantial market opportunity for investment is in distributed power, broadly conceived. So yes, that does include solar, it does include agricultural waste to energy, a variety of technologies that are associated with distributed power. It would be a lot easier to see that as an effective place to put capital if supply and demand discussions were made at the same time. So I get a bit fed up with a trade-off between one type of supply and another type of supply. I'm much more interested in the system. And we've tried to invest in our clean tech fund in both, in everything from LED lighting to the better management of power through distributed grids to the solar and other waste to energy technologies. And the third place where I think there's opportunity right now to bring the clean energy revolution to bear on contemporary economic problems is in sectors where there are very substantial global markets, where high-end engineering and technological advancement on material science in particular can help produce a thing that is already valued at lower cost and higher margin. So if you take the automotive sector, without going to the EV sector at all, which is obviously very attractive as well, but just by taking weight out of that particular product, lightweight vehicles, alternative technologies for producing the vehicle, there are massive opportunities in that sector there, which tradition you might not have put. Maybe that's not one of the things you count when you look at the deployment of capital, but the automotive sector is one of those areas where I think you can combine innovation in materials with innovation with production, and in the end produce something of value that is valued in global markets in a different way. So those are, and we'll get to the future developments, but I see those as emblematic areas for investment today where you can consolidate contemporary pressures on the economy and balance sheet with future direction.
Great, thanks, James.